to Topic Therapy.
And we're your hosts, Isabel
and Alyssa.
And today we'll be discussing film hot takes. Let's get into it.
Okay. So I have a really good one to start this off. I think, well, probably not a good one because people are probably going to disagree with it, but I'm like not a fan of like jukebox musicals. Like, okay, it's not that
Like,
I
what do you
don't
mean by that?
like. Do you know what a jukebox musical is?
Like oldies music?
What? No. Like a jukebox musical is like a musical that the music, like the show is written for the music. Think like, for example, like Mamma Mia. I do like Mamma Mia actually, and like Footloose, but like, so for example, Mamma Mia is like ABBA music, right?
Yes, yeah.
And it's like pre-existing music that exists outside of the context of the musical. It's like if I wrote an entire show around Taylor Swift's like discography, and like wrote the show that would correlate to the music, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
like, yeah, that. And okay, it's not that I like don't like them. It's more that I find them like kind of like lazy.
Okay.
Like, as I said, I do like Mamma Mia and like Footloose. I kind of that sounds so mean, but like, I think of it like my favorite part of a musical is the music for the musical. So
okay. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so it's just songs that already exist that I can listen to outside of this. So what's even the point? And I just like they don't have the same kind of sound or same vibe as an actual musical would. And the songs, even though they relate to what's going on in the show, like they still make sense within the context. They're not like as directly related, like every single word. So it's just kind of almost like a disconnect that I just don't really like, I guess. And like, again, I do like Mamma Mia, but I can never like it like as much as I would like Wicked or something, you know, because the jukebox thing kind of is like,
I guess I'm kind of like sort of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like love Mamma Mia for the fact that it is ABBA music, and like they didn't create new music, because the songs that ABBA created are really good and almost like they kind of fit with the they fit with the movie and what it's about. And I do like musicals where they come up with the music for the musical. However, I feel like I like the ones like Mamma Mia where it's not better almost.
Yeah, I think that you would like jukebox musicals better if you don't like musicals.
Yeah.
Normally. Like, and I know a lot of people don't like musicals, and I understand why. I guess like it's unrealistic, unrelatable. Like, I understand that. I just like it because like I like the music, the vibes, you know. But like, I see what you mean. Like, oh, I like it because it's like ABBA music, and I like ABBA music. But I also feel like I'm like, well, I could listen to ABBA music if I wanted to any other time.
I guess you're right.
Like, it's just a different experience when the music is written very specifically for the show. And even if the songs do still make sense, it's not that they don't make sense. They do make sense. It can never make as much perfect sense or be as personal to that show unless it was literally written for the show.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like, you could listen to that song outside of the context and it still makes complete sense. Unlike a typical musical song, you wouldn't really understand what's going on in the actual show by listening to just one song. And that's what makes it more personal to the show. And I also just like the sound of musicals. And, like, obviously, I like the sound of, like, regular music too, but I could get that anywhere.
Do you like the sound of music?
Not really. Another thing I'm, like, not a huge fan of, like, older, like,
really?
Like musicals and just like anything, like not anything, but like movies.
Honestly,
like I know
love
that's
the
like
sound of
bad
music.
to say, kind of. It's not that I'm not like opposed to like watching it. It's just like not my favorite.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that after you say something.
Okay. Hot film take. Okay, I think I have one. My hot take is that old Disney is better than new Disney.
So I agree to an extent.
Okay.
But I want to hear why you think that.
Okay. I think this just because like I like the old animation style. And how like I know like some of the earlier on films they would literally paint on glass to make like the film, which is like so cool. And it just like looks so much better, honestly. And some of the stories are honestly better. Like some of the new Disney films just aren't that good, like at all. Like I don't even like plan on ever watching them.
What do you consider new? Like how recent?
Anything past Okay, well, I guess there's kind of okay. So old Disney is like Snow White and the Seven
Yeah,
Dwarfs,
like 1930s.
like all that, like Bambi, like that's
Yes, like
old
old,
Disney.
old.
Then like
Like OG Disney.
modern and still old, and I still really like it. What I would say like is like Cars, Frozen, Moana,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would say new Disney that I don't like at all. I would say is like anything from Encanto.
Not the
Honestly,
Encanto hate.
I know. Okay. I
That's like
know.
blasphemy.
I know.
I think I thought Encanto was so good. I had me in a chokehold like my
Okay.
freshman year of high school. If you know, you know. CC.
I don't hate Encanto. I liked it when I watched it. I don't, but it's not like it's not my favorite, and I feel like any of the films they made after it, I did not like at all.
Okay. I have not really seen any of the films that they made after it,
Me neither,
mostly
but, like, from what
because
I've
we're like
seen.
not of age anymore.
Yeah,
Me
exactly.
watching Encanto was kind of like a shocker too, honestly. I mean, like I was just like, oh, why not? I don't even know what made me watch that.
Right.
Anything after like Frozen 2 is kind of like not really our generation or like
Yeah.
childhood generation of
Yeah.
Disney anymore. However, I think when it comes to like classicness, I think old Disney is in that way better. It is kind of like I guess more of a nostalgic feel in a way, which is like kind of weird,
Yeah.
as it's like our nostalgic should be like Frozen technically. That was our childhood.
Yeah.
Snow White is like everyone's childhood.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like so it's I guess it's just the old fashioned stuff. It kind of makes everybody feel nostalgic in a way. But I do like kind of the plots better. I think they became more like interesting to me.
Like the modern.
Yes. And I
Disney?
think also that kind of goes for just film in general, which goes back to my point earlier. I said that I find modern, like not like modern, but anything from like the 1970s and up cinema to be more interesting to me personally than anything kind of before that, just because I feel like the stories are different and the stories are better in a lot of ways. And it's not that the older stories aren't good, it's more so how they portray the stories. And what I mean by that is it wasn't until like what, like the 30s kind of that kind of TV started at all, really. Like movies and stuff started existing in roughly the 1930s, I think, give or take ish. And they were still kind of I think stuck almost in like a theatrical mindset where they acted on screen as though it was a play, and it made it kind of unrelatable in some ways.
That actually, because recently in my Anas moving image class, our professor had us watch some clips from this movie from like 1939, I think, called The Rules of the Game.
Yeah.
And actually someone said in class it's almost like we're watching a play.
Yes.
And
that's how I feel.
Yes, I think that's how like a lot of like older like first kind of movies are.
Yeah.
Is like they're more plays.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like it doesn't mean that it's bad. I don't want to say the acting is bad. It's not bad. It was good for its time. It's just different and it's almost unrelatable. Because I mean, when you watch a play, no one goes like when you watch a play or like a musical on a stage like that, the acting is, typically more over the top because it's theater. They gotta project to make it clear to the audience what they're feeling, because you don't have really the up closeness that you get from like, being on screen. And that's why I feel like earlier cinema that is like in black and white and stuff, and like The Wizard of Oz and everything with like Audrey Hepburn in it is all like, it's a different kind of feeling and it almost feels unrelatable, so it's less intriguing to me and probably some other people, just because I feel like there's almost like a barrier. Like I can tell that they're so clearly acting that it makes it unrelatable. Not that the story isn't good. Like I'd like to see like The Sound of Music but like remade,
remade?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Like,
hot take, I would never want to see The Sound of Music remade. I think it was perfect when it was
like
made.
It's not that it's bad, but again, it's just almost like sometimes the acting is a little bit too much.
Like too much.
Don't even get me started on the transatlantic accent. Like, like Judy Garland and like The Wizard of Oz and that, like, where are we going, Scarecrow? Like whatever she says, like the transatlantic accent. It's unrelatable. And I feel like everything from kind of like the 70s, like early 70s onwards is like more relatable because they finally kind of left behind that theater feeling and came into more of like a cinematic thing and cinematic feeling, and it feels much more relatable
okay
now.
Yeah, I understand.
So I don't really. I mean, that's not like a burning hot take. Maybe more of like a lukewarm take. I think some people could agree with that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Next hot take in the film world.
I don't really know.
Oh,
Like,
I know one. Okay. Here's my next hot take.
mm-hmm.
I think that this might just be me, but maybe it's other people will agree with me. Claymation is not that great.
Claymation.
Claymation.
What is
I
claymation?
hate claymation.
I actually have not seen that.
Like
I've
Coraline.
never even heard of that.
Coraline.
Coraline?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh wait,
Coraline
is claymation like a movie or like what's claymation? I've never heard that word in my life.
Okay, claymation is like the characters. Everything on screen is made out of clay.
What the hell? Why? That's
So,
so weird.
do you know
Oh, Coraline. That
yeah,
makes sense. Yes,
yeah.
I could tell.
Do you know stop motion?
Yeah.
Okay, it's that. So it's everything's made out of clay, but it's filmed in stop motion because obviously clay characters can't actually move or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's claymation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there I don't remember what it's called, but there's this other popular claymation thing. It's like the guy and then like the chicken, or is it a goose?
No idea what you're getting at. But
Or is it a sheep?
I did understand what you meant by Coraline. Like,
Okay.
I know they're choppy movements.
Yes. Oh my god, it
and it looks
me,
like handmade.
It
It is
it
weird.
Freaks
I mean,
me
that's
out.
kind of the point in Coraline, but like anything else, like why?
I can't watch
Yeah,
claymation.
I definitely think. Yeah, I agree with that. I think like I've never. Did you learn that word in like analysis of the moving image?
No.
Maybe
I
no.
just- no,
Okay,
I've
so you
just
just
known
know it.
it,
Okay,
yeah.
so maybe I'm just like dumb or something.
No, I
don't
think
know.
I just know it because I saw Coraline when I was younger, and then I looked up what the hell that was, and I'm like,
Claymation.
Never
yeah, I've
again.
never heard that.
Never
word in
watching
my
that
entire- I thought
again.
that was like a movie. I'm like claymation. How have I never heard? Like, is that a movie or what?
no.
I was like, what's claymation?
Oh my
No,
god.
that's kind of weird. Why would they do that? I don't like that.
It's like it just.
Well, now I know when I see
Oh,
the
I think-
Coraline kind of look.
You know what? Is the Nightmare Before Christmas claymation?
It might be. I mean, it looks kind of like Coraline.
It looks similar.
Let's look
but
it up. We're
that
gonna
one
look
I
that
can
up.
like tolerate, but I feel like there's
Um,
this claymation that I'm thinking of that I can't remember what it is. Claymation movies. Let's see. Okay, Fantastic Mr. Fox. But yeah, that one actually kind of freaks
I like
me
kind
out.
of forgot that.
That
about
one kind of freaks
movie.
me out.
Yeah,
Coraline.
they're all kind of weird like
Corpse
that.
Bride.
Oh, the Corpse Bride.
I haven't seen that. Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. It's Wallace and Gromit. That's what I was trying to think of. The guy and the dog.
Okay,
That's
yes.
claymation. And then Shaun the Sheep. I've seen clips from it. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
I
watching
agree. I
that.
don't like that. I think it's like kind of weird. Now I
Okay.
didn't know what it was called, but now that I know
Yeah.
what kind of animation that is,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Oh yeah, The Night Before Christmas is claymation.
Yeah, that
Chicken
makes
Run
sense.
that I had to watch for analysis of the movie is
Uh-huh.
claymation. That one, it's not that bad, but it's still
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
Gumby the movie
Mhm.
is claymation. Yeah, it's just something about claymation like freaks me out.
Yeah.
Like it's like oh like
I know it's like weird. It's like choppy kind of, and like you could see like the intricate details like of their face, or
yes,
like
or
it
you
looks
can see
handmade.
where someone pressed
Yeah,
it.
that's what I meant to
And
say.
it's
Kind of.
like-
Yeah, you could see where
it's
someone
like-
pressed down to make it.
That's not normal because a
weird.
regular human head wouldn't have finger
like dents
imprints
in
in
it.
it.
It's just weird. I know.
So that just like
It's really
Mm-mm.
weird. Yeah, kind of like going off of that, I don't hate the animation of like the Polar Express. I know a lot of people do, but a lot of people are like, oh, it's like Uncanny Valley, which I agree it is a little Uncanny Valley, but I don't not like it. Actually, I like it more than like regular animation, actually.
I
Because
think
it looks more realistic to me.
I think it's fine, but to me it's almost veering on claymation.
Really?
Well, like it's just like it's not right to me because it's not claymation nor is it animation. It's
I
well,
know.
it is, but it's like it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's weird because if you were like squinting, it would totally look like real.
Yeah.
like you wouldn't be able to tell. And I
It's,
get
like,
what people mean by
almost
uncanny
too
valley.
real,
It
I
is
guess.
uncanny valley. Because
Yeah.
everything about it is very realistic, except it's not a human, and you can still tell that it's not a
Yeah.
human. So it's like a little off, and I completely understand why people hate it.
Mhm.
I don't though. I like it because I like that it looks pretty realistic.
Okay.
And I think maybe I'm just like constantly searching to be able to relate when I watch something. Maybe that's why like I have such questionable opinions sometimes. Like but maybe that's it. I'm just constantly like looking to like relate because I don't know if I said this on the podcast before. I've definitely said this like in person to someone before, that I'm very much more of like a storyteller kind of film person rather than like the art of the cinema, which, and I don't have anything against that either. I still enjoy that more than I would do like crunching numbers for a living,
Yeah.
obviously. But like if I have to choose, I want to be like I really want to be like screenwriting, you know, or like
Mhm.
directing more so than like editing or doing like graphic animation stuff. Like I'm more in it for like the story that it tells, kind of.
Yeah.
I find more intriguing, like creating something that people can relate to and enjoy rather than like just like editing it or like making animations for it or stuff like that. Like I'm really more into like I guess like the most creative aspect of it. Not to say that the other stuff isn't creative, but like a different kind of creative, I
Yeah,
guess.
okay.
So maybe that's why like I feel that way. Like, oh, I need to relate to it in some aspect to like really enjoy it. Like something can be objectively good and you can like, and I could still not like it, you know? And like vice versa. Like if I
'Cause you
relate
don't,
to it
like,
in a way,
relate.
then yeah, then I'll
Okay.
like it even maybe if it's
Okay,
not
I
great.
get that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another hot take, which I don't really know if it's a hot
Mhm.
take, but I feel like it kind of is that rom-coms deserve more credit as a genre.
Yeah, I
Like they
agree with
always
that.
get like tossed aside as like
Cheesy,
chick
yeah,
flicks, like cheesy, and I hate that. And I understand like Hallmark movies being like cheesy
yeah.
or whatever, because you can guess the ending
Yeah,
every
there's
single
literally the most
time. A
predictable
small
thing. Like
town man is
small
gonna
town,
end up
yeah.
with a big city woman, or
I
vice
know,
versa.
yeah.
And but like rom-coms, like, and I've said these films so many times: How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 10 Things I Hate About You, When Harry Met Sally.
Mhm.
Like I've watched so many, and they deserve so much more credit than being considered chick flicks.
Yes.
Because I think that's like, some of them are like literally like you know the that like meme Absolute Cinema.
Yeah.
Some of them are that.
Absolutely.
Like,
I do agree that, yeah. And I have said that's like a portion of like my favorite genre. My favorite genre is like coming of age meets genre meets a little bit of rom-com, but it's not the
yeah,
whole plot.
yeah,
That's like my very specific niche not niche, but like it's niche in the sense like it's very specific.
yeah.
Like that. So like I definitely agree that stuff like that like does deserve more
Like, and
credit.
like I just like, what I've noticed in a lot of my film classes is that the films they're showing us are horror movies. Like
Huh.
literally, in my understanding film and in my film analysis, the movies we have watched so far, except for Chicken Run, that wasn't like a horror movie, but like the films that we have been shown so far, except a few, have been mainly horror films, and we've been like analyzing scenes from horror films. Like the other day
Yeah.
in class, we were analyzing scenes from like Silence of the Lamb and like Black Swan, which is like a psychological
Yeah.
thriller
Uh-huh.
horror kind of.
Interesting.
So I feel like it's kind of interesting how we're analyzing and watching and saying like, wow, these are so like cinematic masterpieces, like all these horror
That's yeah.
and thriller
Mhm.
films, and like when in reality there's like so many other films like that are also cinematic masterpieces that can be in the rom-com
Yes,
genre,
I agree.
or like all these other genres than just like horror and like thriller and action, because I know like a lot of people are like, oh, action, like,
yeah.
and it just like, it's so like frustrating that we're not watching any of those kind of films, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mhm.
Like we're not analyzing like those types. And honestly, like in my final exam for understanding film, I analyzed a scene from Notting Hill,
Uh-huh.
which is another rom-com, and it has like a really good long take in it, and it's just like, why can't we be analyzing something like that compared
Yeah.
to like another horror or action one?
Mhm. I definitely agree with that. And going off the whole horror thing is I like horror as a genre, but I never think about a horror movie after it's over. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
I never
Oh my
take
God.
a horror. I mean, unless it like scares like the crap out of me. But like
Yeah.
other
yeah,
than
yeah.
that, I never go home and I'm like, wow, that was such an incredible movie, and then I think about it
That
and then
was
I
such
want
an
to watch it
absolute
again.
masterpiece.
Like I never do
no.
that. I go to what horror movies are like a one time
Like you
minute
watch it and you
thrill
never
kind of
watch it
thing,
again,
and then
unless like horror
yeah.
movie's your favorite genre.
Yeah, and but it's not for me personally.
Yeah, it's
so
not for
I
me.
go to a movie theater to watch a horror movie. I'm like if I'm like with my like family or something, we're like, oh, let's watch like a scary movie, because I don't really want to take the time to think about something that'll really interest me. But I know a horror movie will always grab my attention quickly, and then I can forget about it quickly after. This is gonna sound bad. I guess I could compare a horror movie to like a one night stand. That's like kind of what it is.
Honestly, yeah,
Like a horror movie,
you
it
watch
would be
and
like,
oh, okay, and then like
yeah, I'm like,
you never
okay,
watch
that
it
was
again.
great, bye.
Like bye.
Yeah,
Great, see you later.
rather than like a rom-com or like a drama or coming of age or just something that's a different type of genre. It's more of like a slow burn, like a real relationship that lasts. And a horror
because
movie's a
I
one night
watch
stand.
rom-coms over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
And
it's a relationship.
It's a relationship. I have a relationship with rom-coms, but not with horror movies because you probably watch them around Halloween, or unless you're some crazy like horror movie enthusiast, like you're not watching horror movies all the time. And it's so interesting how those are being claimed as like cinematic masterpieces and overlooking rom-coms because they're chick flicks.
Exactly.
Which like is so annoying.
I know, right? Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think honestly the best way to put it is horror movies would be like what the world would view it as, like at least for me, a one night stand, rather than like a rom-com or like just a genre that I that I can relate to more. Maybe it doesn't intrigue me the second I put it on, but as I watch it, I grow more interested and attached, and maybe I want to watch it again.
And honestly, that's like one of like, as a film major, that's one of the things I want to do is I want to create rom-coms that are more than just like rom-coms that are more than just considered a chick flick or another Hallmark movie. I want to create something that's like actually like has a lot of meaning, has a lot of impact, but is still a rom-com genre that will become that's like an absolute masterpiece,
absolute cinema,
absolute cinema.
That's what I agree with when I said that, like my very specific favorite genre is like drama meets coming of age meets rom-com, but it's not the full like center of it, so it's still there's like more to it. It's not just like Hallmark, but like there's more plot to it, like there's subplots,
and it still gets like good credit
and that's
for it.
And that's why I also said this before, I prefer like TV shows rather than a movie specifically, because I feel like when you have a TV show, you can build more on it.
Yes.
You can't really have a subplot in a movie, really. It doesn't work. You don't have enough time. Rather than in a TV show, you can have multiple subplots, and some subplots come and they go, and the plot can change, and that's what I like about it, and you can grow more attached to it. Like over like I would never when you watch a movie, like you might get like sad, like, oh, that was sad, they both like died or whatever, like the Titanic, for example, but like it doesn't really like upset you that much, and then you move on. Rather like think about like Stranger Things that had people like in a chokehold, and people were like really upset when they like started killing people that they cared about, or they thought they were going to kill people. They really didn't kill that many people, but like that, for example, because it's been a TV show that's been running for years, so it has a much greater impact, because it's not like characters that you've known for 2 hours, it's characters that you've known for like 8 years. So it's a different experience. And that's why I like them more.
And then like also kind of going back to how like horror movies are like used as such like great masterpieces compared to rom-coms. 500 Days of Summer, have you watched that movie?
I have not, but I probably should.
That is, it's a rom-com, but also it's like a drama, and for some reason, like so many like it's like you can find like TikTok or whatever, like people are like, oh, it's like a horror movie because of how the relationship goes. I don't want to spoil it. Like, oh, it's a horror movie, and I feel like they're just saying that so they can say it is a great cinematic masterpiece, because it's really like truly like when I was watching it, I'm like, wow, like that was actually like how they did like this. I think in one part there was like a split screen and like all these other things, like how they like filmed this movie like cinematic wise. It was really good. And the fact that people are now like kind of pushing the label on it as it's like, oh, it's a horror film because of how the relationship goes is honestly like so stupid because it's not.
Yeah.
Just because she like didn't, I don't really want to spoil it, but like just because of how the relationship goes does not mean it's a horror movie.
Mhm.
It's still part of the romance drama genre.
Yeah, exactly.
And just because it's a cinematic masterpiece doesn't mean it needs to be a horror. Have some
Yeah,
sort of horror
exactly.
Like that just it aggravates me so much.
Mhm.
Like, it's not a horror movie. Just because the relationship goes the way it does not make it a horror movie.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that we need to open up theaters more to movies that are like rom-coms and stuff like that. Like you wouldn't find like a rom-com typically in like a theater as much. I mean sometimes, but it tends to be more like action and horror or just like more intense like movies like that rather than something that's really just like ends up having a happy ending in the end and it's not like super tragic or disturbing or action packed.
Or like, and it's just like
Mhm.
so. It just like it makes me so annoyed about how they're just like how they're portrayed, and like especially how they get like that chick flick label forced upon it, and then how like 500 Days of Summer they're saying it's a horror just because the way the relationship, just because the guys don't like how the relationship goes, and when it's really not. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going on a tangent, but that's how I feel, and it's just like frustration.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Okay, another hot take. This one's gonna be like piping hot. Okay, you're gonna if you're watching this, you're like, what? Why would you think that? I don't mind spoilers. I actually sometimes look them up.
What?
You know what I mean? I told you you're gonna be like, what?
Stop it right now.
I'm serious.
No.
I'm surprised that you're so shocked. I feel like I must have told you this before. Like I feel like at some point I would have mentioned this that I like, bro. Stranger Things had me like crashing out every time a volume would drop. You'd be like, "Is anyone dead?" I'd look it up, and here's why. I told you I have this thing where I tend to like things more if I can relate in some aspect,
Okay.
right? God, okay, I like to. I have a lot of feelings, you know. I have a lot of emotions, and I guess maybe it's just the empath in me or something. But I don't not so much with movies. I don't mind a spoiler in a movie, but it's not a need typically.
Okay.
In a TV show, it's a need.
It is a need?
It's a need to an extent. If it's something trivial that's gonna happen, it's not a big deal. If someone's like gonna die or it's detrimental, then I need to know. For example, like Bridgerton. Love Bridgerton. I don't need spoilers because I don't mind them because I'm there for the journey, not the end. That's another part I'll get into about why I feel this way. But like Bridgerton, for example, somebody does kind of die, but it's not like a huge thing.
No,
It is kind of a big deal in the moment, but it's not going to like totally derail the whole plot. They don't make it so sad, so I don't want to spoil it for those of you who care, but like for example, Bridgerton, it's nothing horrible is going to happen. Like nothing terrible is going to happen. It's never going to be a sad spoiler that I would get. So I'm okay with not having a spoiler. It's not a need. For example, but on the other hand, Stranger Things, a lot of like bad shit goes down in Stranger Things, right?
Okay.
I mean, I know you didn't like finish it, but like kind of
I
the
know.
whole Demogorgon, Vecna, all that stuff. Max is in a coma, all that, all the crazy stuff, right?
Honestly,
Everyone's like dying. It's bad.
For me, for TV shows, I don't really care if I hear a spoiler or get a spoiler about a TV show because like to me, for some like
The journey,
in TV shows, you just like you keep watching, and so if I get a spoiler, I'm not.
It's not gonna ruin it, yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I know this part. Like for movies, like I even like the trailers, like some of the trailers just spoil the whole thing, and it's like kind of annoying because the movie you're there to like watch this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's the thing. Like TV shows, they keep going on and have more seasons. The movies, it's just that one.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Yeah.
That one moment, the first time you watch it, that's it.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll use an example. Recently, I watched Sinners, and I didn't even look at the description, I haven't really seen many videos like about it, or if I have, I've just skipped past because I haven't watched it yet. So when I watched it, I didn't know that that it was about vampires. So I was like, what is happening?
I did not know that either. I have not watched it, so no, it's okay. I don't really care because I don't care about spoilers.
So I watched it and I'm like, what is happening? But I'm also like, good thing I didn't look it up because in the description, I'm pretty sure it says vampires. So it's like, for movies, I don't want to be spoiled because that's the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
Is find it out.
Uh-huh.
For a TV show, you keep finding out more and more.
Yeah.
So if you get one spoiler, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. I think for me, it's not so much like, for me, it's more so I get stressed.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by like Bridgerton. I don't really need a spoiler because nothing terrible is going to happen. It's Bridgerton. Everything is happy. However, for example, Stranger Things, on the other hand, something terrible could very easily happen and that would not be shocking to the plot whatsoever. So that's why when each volume would drop, it'd be like, oh my God, is like Steve dead? You know, like that, right? Because it stresses me out. It's like I don't want to feel the emotions that they're feeling. It doesn't feel good. Right? And it's like, it's a different experience too, because you get more interested and invested in the characters that you're watching when it's been years rather than a movie. I do get kind of stressed still with movies. Like, I don't want to just watch someone die shockingly. So I might, like, if I'm going to like, I remember I was watching Jurassic Park last year. I like went to go see it with some of my friends, or Jurassic World, whatever. I'm not like a big action person, so they kind of like not dragged me. We ended up settling on this movie. It wasn't my top choice, but I was like, whatever. I went with them and I like literally looked up who dies, and they're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't like spoilers. Like, it's not as big of a deal for me if it's a movie, just because I don't really care with the characters as much, but I would still like to know if I'm about to watch somebody die, because it just stresses me out.
Honestly, I kind of feel like that way about horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like them at all. And well, I guess Sinners is kind of a horror movie, but Sinners is so good. Like, I don't care. But for horror movies, like when she started showing us clips from Silence of the Lamb, or Lambs, whatever, I will never watch that movie. I'm never going to, because that sounds way too freaking scary. Like, I looked up like what it was about, and I'm like, no, not happening, not watching that. So I think when it comes to horror movies, I'm gonna look up what happens in it before I watch it to know if I'm gonna be like disturbed or something. Or traumatized. But when it comes to like an action movie or a drama movie or romance or rom-com or coming of age, I don't look up what it's about, because then I know what it's about and I don't want to.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of different about that. It's like, I like to kind of go in knowing what I'm gonna expect. I mean, like, I'm there for the journey, not like the destination, I guess, to put that in a metaphorical way. I will rewatch a movie like a million times, knowing exactly what happens and how it ends and everything. Same thing with a TV show. I've watched TV shows that I really like. I've watched multiple times. And I'll continue to probably do that like forever, because I don't care about the exact end result. I don't care if I know what's going to happen. I'm more invested in watching the journey, which I guess kind of goes back to, I need to like relate to something in some way to like really enjoy it. Otherwise I'm kind of like about it. But like, I guess maybe too also with the relation, like needing to relate is also probably why it stresses me out, just because I'm like, it's like a different level, I guess, of like I get, like, I feel the emotions of the characters, and even if I don't want to.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so, and that's why I actually, when I was watching Bridgerton, when that certain somebody died, I actually did look up what episode just so I could be prepared.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, because I just, like, that was like the one thing in Bridgerton. The rest is all like happy, but for the most part. But like, I can't, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I get extremely stressed if I know something bad is going to happen. And I actually wrote an entire memoir about this last year in my creative writing class. I wrote a whole memoir about it, and like I correlated it to my actual life and kind of like needing a feeling of certainty in my actual life and like stuff. Yeah, it was actually really good, I think. But and then I remember my last line was like something like, maybe I'll save the spoilers for the silver lined screens and like learn to enjoy my own life spoiler free, or something like that, like, you know, trying to overcome overthinking and worry like that, basically. But that was like the whole correlation. And I know it was like kind of a memoir, so it was meant to be dramatic, but I really do think there's like some truth to that. It's like, nobody wants to like be stressed in life. You know, like, you don't want to be worrying about something. We all wish we could click a button and know what's going to happen the next day about concerning something that we're worried about, right? And like, I want to do that in a movie, and I can, because I feel the emotions very deeply of the characters. Like, I feel the emotion, and I don't want to feel that emotion. I don't want to be stressed about who's gonna die or what's gonna happen, or is this gonna have a terrible ending, or like, I don't want to feel that way, but I want to watch how they get to that point. And I think it could actually be more interesting when you know what happens, because sometimes you could see what like the writers and directors put in there, like little nods at like foreshadowing something that maybe you wouldn't have picked up on otherwise. So I actually think sometimes it can add to the plot.
All right. Yeah.
So that's my reason for that.
That's a good reason.
Yes.
And I think that is all the time we have left for today.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on this very heated topic therapy episode.
Yes, we had a lot of opinions, but
It was
thank
fun.
you guys. We will see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.